Well, happy Halloween, everyone, and welcome to Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque and our painting live on Thursday with our subscription box. So happy Halloween! And it's cold here, and we had snow the last 2 days, so it's not very nice for Halloween. But it could be worse. It could be raining and icing. So I had posted the picture of our little girl. I was supposed to do it on Sunday, but I got so busy I forgot about it till Tammy posted hers with the rust, and so I did my little girl with the rust to the degree of rust that that we needed, which was just showing the black in the crevices basically. And actually I was having so much fun painting rust, I actually painted her hat rust also. So now I'll have to decide if I'm going to go back and dry brush it green or if I'll just leave it the rust and go with it. But that's okay, we can still pick up with her dress and his hat where we left off. And I didn't do his hat all the way, so we can pick up a little bit so I can show you guys just, a little more dry brushing. So this, you can still see some of the black through the rust, and that's okay. But I do like it just a little bit more rust. So I'm going to use my Doc Holliday DH28 acrylic stain rust. And we'll just use a little bit. And then I'm going to use my Royal & Langnickel bristle dry brush, a size 8. And I just put my paint on foil, and you can put it on a tile if you'd like, or a paper plate, whatever works for you. And I just like to go into my rust and grab a little bit and then brush it out on my paper towel. And again, you can use paper towel, let's see, what else could you use? Paper towel, brown paper bags, coffee filters, any of those things work. What's happening? What do you get? So, where's the center of the frame here? So we're gonna just get this a little bit more dry brush rust, and I'm just taking my brush and doing half circles or C strokes. And I just want to get that a little bit more rust on there. You're putting on very thin layers at a time. And you want to work it right up to your sunflower. And you do want to let some in the space before the sunflower, that's your shading. So we'll just keep adding a little bit more of a layer here. So did everyone do homework, or did you guys wait till this week to see what they look like? So let's see, we've got a few watchers here tonight. We got Ann and Connie and Tammy and Carol and Shirley and Marie. Welcome, you guys. Glad you could join us on Halloween. Everyone have trick-or-treaters, or are you painting instead? So I'm just going to get that rust a little bit more rusty, so I don't see quite as much black through it. And I'm just doing little half circles or C strokes. And I'm doing my rim too, but I want to let the black in the deepest part, because that gives you that shadow and gives you your shape to your hat. I'm just brushing across it. You always want to brush across your dry brush across your texture instead of with it. If you brush with it, you're going to fill in that black and you'll lose it. So you want to go across it. And you want thin layers at a time. You don't want a whole lot at once. That's what gives you a nice soft look. Otherwise you would just be painting it. So I'm just going to work my way around. There's a few spaces that are a little bit darker than what I would like it to be yet. So we'll just work that right up to the face, leaving a little bit of black between the face and the hat. Just keep slowly building it up till you get to the color you want. Is anyone having any problems with your dry brushing? Is it going okay? You can always post questions and we'll get to them. So just getting a little bit more rusty. So we had a few more joiners. Let's see, we got Michelle and Carol and Timothy. Welcome you guys, glad you could join us. So we're just dry brushing our scarecrows from our of October. I think this is our third time, huh, Courtney? Third time? Second time? Third time, I think. Excuse me. So we'll get these guys painted up. Get a little more rust on the hat. And we'll turn around, and so now that bottom of the hat will dry, and we'll come to the top. We'll let that part dry. And where we were before, we'll add some more because that's dry now, because we were doing the other part. I'm just doing little C strokes and brushing it on there. And I think I want a little bit more up here that looks a little dark yet. I'm just rubbing it right on. So now it looks closer to the little girl. Looks like I could use a little more up here yet. I'll probably have to add a little more rust to my foil. So did anyone dress up today for Halloween and go to work, or dress up for trick-or-treaters? It looks clear to me. You got blurry? It hasn't really like changed. Courtney's looking at my tablet because the screen hasn't changed. How are you guys seeing the picture tonight? Is it clear or blurry or slow? Courtney must be having trouble with her tablet.
I think it's okay.
She thinks it's okay. It looks okay on my tablet, but her tablet looks blurry, so I hope you guys are seeing it okay. She's going to zoom in a little bit so you can see a little better. So I'm just going to get a little bit more rust on the top of the hat here and around the front.
It'll just stay right here.
Right here?
Yeah.
So I'll have to mark the middle of my page here so I know, reminder to keep him in the middle. And it's okay if you get that rust on your straw. We'll be touching that up with the brighter yellow yet, so. I'm just brushing that rust on there, getting just a little bit more so I don't see quite as much black through my rust. Mostly want to see it in the crevices. And you want to look at it, look underneath the brim here and make sure that looks good. In between the two leaf petals, you want to get that in there too. So that's looking about where I want it. So now I'm going to grab my Duncan OS 439, my hot orange. And I like to shake it up just a little bit usually because there could be the oil up on top. And we'll take a drop of that. And we're going to keep going with our same brush. I'm just going to grab some of the hot orange. Oop, and I got it right in my paper towel here. And I'm going to brush out my brush and work that up in there a little bit. Get it nice and dry. And now I'm going to brush that from like the edge back to leave about 1/4 inch, and then gradually let that rust fade into it. So you want it brighter on the front and then rust as it goes closer to the hat. Kind of a graduation of color. And I'm going to come around the front across the rim here. And I'll let some of the rust down, so we'll have the black and then we'll have some rust and then we'll have the hot orange more on the top side of it. That gives you good shading. And then we'll do just a little bit on the underside, because there would be more shadowing under here, so that's going to be darker. And again, I'm going across that. And I'll just keep turning them and working around. I'm still doing my little half circles. Again, I have the black in the deeper part, and then I'm going to have about 1/4 inch of the rust, and then I'll start with the hot orange. And then it'll be less hot orange to more hot orange as you get out to the outer edge. So you have a nice gradual change in color from the black to the rust to the hot orange. With the most being on the rim there, where the light would be hitting it the most. It's just a nice gradual color change. And we'll come between the two flowers, or the flower and the straw here. And we'll get underneath the brim there. Again, we'll have the bright orange and then, or the hot orange, and then the rust, and then the black. And we'll turn them and come around one more time. I have a sassy cat tonight. He was going to swat me. I was chasing him off the chair to get up on the table, and I didn't like that. But he didn't like it either. Huh? Oh, Cordy said he wanted to make a video debut. He's going to make a video debut, alright. So I'm going to come up on the top and get my hot orange up here. And it'll be more hot orange from the rim, and then less till you get to the rust and then to the black. Have that nice gradual color change again. Let's see, Saturday we did our mold trip, and Courtney did a quick live and posted it on Facebook. I know some of you got to see it. It was a Marcella's Ceramics in Beloit. Really nice shop. Lots of greenware, lots of supplies. Very helpful. It's a 3.5 hour drive from my house. So it was pretty much the whole day down there and back, and stopped at Courtney's, and the molds are quite wet, so they're sitting in the dining room with a fan blowing on them so we can get them dried, because they are December's molds. So I'm still working my hot orange. Again, more at the outside and less as you go in. Because if the light was shining onto it, it would be hitting more here and less here, because this would be shadowing it. So I can't wait to get those guys poured and start working on those. But I'm still finishing up the November vintage Christmas box. I took the trees out of some of the trees out of the kiln this morning, and now I just loaded it back up again. And tonight I'll finish up cleaning the little trucks with the trees, and when I unload tomorrow, then I'll load those guys up and get those fired. So it'll be a busy weekend, because I also have a craft show Saturday and a craft show Sunday. So I want this part of the hat is tipped up quite a bit, so I do want a little more of the hot orange on that part that's tipped up compared to there's just more surface area there. So I want that a little bit brighter. And then we want to come on to the top of our hat. And you can go right over the patch because we'll adjust that color later. And work it right up to the sunflower. Again, I'm going across my crease where the hat and the brim meet. So Leslie asked, what kind of brushes am I using? Looking to buy new ones. So I'm using the Royal & Langnickel bristle brushes. This is a size 8. Excuse me, a good sizes for these are 3, 5, and 8. It's just a nice small to large size in the round or the flat. They're also available on Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque.com. I think Courtney has them as sets and as individuals. So you could buy, if you wanted the set of them, or you could buy as many, maybe you wanted like five of the 5 flats, you could order them that way too. And if there's something that's not there, you can let us know, and when we order in November for December, we can add to the order. Excuse me, I got a dry throat here tonight. So it's just a bristle brush for dry brushing. The nylon round brushes are what you usually use for the like painting things out, like base coating and maybe painting the eyes, stuff like that. We did do a brush video, and I believe that's on the Facebook page and on the YouTube page. And the YouTube page everything has the same name. It's Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque. So you can also go on YouTube. I did some videos about brushes, sealer. So there's a few videos on there, kind of FYI things, especially if you're new. Kind of explains things a little bit. So I'm going to just work my way back around. So now the top of this hat is going to be brighter than where it folds down here because there would be shadow in there. So we want to make sure this top part is the brighter hot orange. You're very welcome, Leslie, and hi, Sue, and hi, Margarita. Who else joined us here yet? Dorinda, hi, Dorinda. Leslie, Sarah. Oh, we got all kinds of watchers tonight. I hope you guys are finding these helpful. Can't believe we're getting ready to ship our 5th box next week. Monday and Tuesday will be, and there, that's too much paint. You can see how wet that is, so you can take your paper and you can actually wipe it off. You can brush it out on your brush, and then you'll have to work that out a little more so it's more even. It's not a disaster. You just have to work it out so the rest of the area around it is the same color. And we're going to get down into here, but as I get closer to the leaf, I'm going to have less of the hot orange because the stem and the leaf would cause a shadow there, so that's going to be darker, so I don't want a whole lot of the hot orange down in there. But as I get up to the top of the brim, I want that brighter again because there would be a lot more light up there. Our supplies for the boxes came in this week. My sister did inventory for us on those, so that was a great help. It's becoming a family affair. So we'll brush that out a little more because that looks a little too wet. So if it looks real shiny and wet, your brush is probably a little too wet, and you might want to brush it out on your paper, your paper towel, or your paper bag, whatever it is you're using. It shouldn't look real wet when you're when you're dry brushing. Your color should be going on real thin. Lots of thin layers. So we'll work that around here. So we have a nice shadow in there where the hat blends over, and a nice shadow up where the straw and the hat meets. And again where the leaf meets and in the rim here and closer to the edge of the straw. So that looks pretty good as far as the hot orange. So now we will grab her, and that's our finished one. We'll see if we can get her in the picture. And then mine, I inadvertently did the hat in rust also. We'll see if we leave it that way or if we do something else with it. I'm not sure. It was kind of a rush to get the rust on there, and I got rust on the whole girl. So we'll actually put the rust on her. We'll go with the hot orange now on her jumper, but we won't do it on her. I'm not going to do it on her little bloomers, so I'm going to let those dark, but I'm going to do it on her little jumper. So move that over just a little bit. And I'm just going to do the same thing. My little half circles. And I just want a nice, kind of an even coat of the hot orange, but I do want more. I want it heavier towards the bottom. Oh, about, I don't know, it's more than a 1/4 inch, but not quite a 1/2 inch. Maybe about 1/3 of an inch. You want that more hot orange because we want that to end up lighter. And then just a little bit up on the top there. And then just a little bit, as the same with the hat, his hat, we'll have more right along the edge and then just a little bit underneath, and we'll let the rust go. So that's like our nice shadowing, because there wouldn't be a whole lot of light under there to show all the color. So you want a nice gradual change of your color from your rust to your hot orange. So there'll be more here, more at the edge, and then less, less, less. So hopefully that makes sense. And then from the bottom of the dress coming up, there'll be a lot more hot orange and then less, less as you come up, just to give that graduation of color. And I'm just gonna work my way from the bottom up. Or you could go from the top down too. And we'll go right over her patch. We'll worry about that later. And we'll keep grabbing our hot orange and just dry brushing across it. And get some on the bottom, just so it's a nice gradual change from the orange to the rust. And we'll switch her around here. And we'll keep going with our C stroke, or just go back and forth. That works too. But I'm hitting the edge always, because that'll make that a more strong hot orange, and then less as you go up. So there's more than one way to do most things, so this just try to show you different ways. You can stroke back and forth, or you can do those little C strokes up and down. That works. And we want to get the bottom of her dress just like the front. Let's see, we also ordered January's mold on Monday. So we'll have to make another trip down to Beloit, because they were already ordering, they already had enough for another order, so we were able to order those right away, which is good because that'll give them some time to dry before we have to pour them. And we want to get a little bit underneath here. And you don't have to do yours in these colors. Feel free to do whatever colors you like. I had a couple local ladies came and they paint theirs in different colors. They're all nice. It doesn't matter. This was just colors we picked, and you probably seen the pictures I posted of the first ones that weren't liked so well. They were too colorful, as my daughter's smiling at me. Oh, that's okay. We worked with it. So that's got a nice hot orange, a little bit of a layer. You can see that's more orange than this rust hat, but it's brighter orange here, and it's like fades back into the rust. So that's what I wanted. Same with the front. Might get a little more on the edge here. And again, I'm letting the bloomers alone, because I'll do those with the light brown. But you could make them orange too, or cream, or whatever you want to do. There's no right or wrong, and do what you like. So I think that's pretty good for her. And I think we'll take him and we'll get some rust or some hot orange on his hat. And we'll do mainly this where the light would really be hitting this area, and then the top edge of this, so it would be like the last 1/3 of the rust colored area. So like the first third would be the black, then the next 2/3 is your rust, and then the last 1/3 is going to be our hot orange. That's the best way I can think to explain it. So I'm just going to go across my brim here and then get a little bit underneath, but not all the way, because the light would not be under there all the way. And we'll turn it, and there would be a lot of light hitting here, and then it would probably fade out a little bit as it goes away. But still kind of bright around the rim of it, and on the seam area of the top of the hat. And we'll work a little more on this very top area here. And bring it around. And again, we'll get just about maybe a 1/4 inch past the crease there, and then let your rust and then your black. You want to let some of that color, because this would be darker under here. So you don't want a whole lot of the hot orange under there, just a little bit. Well, the Scarecrows, I think, are going to get frost on them tonight because it's quite cool out there. I actually had to drain my pouring table because it's in front of the garage in the driveway. So I have 4 5-gallon pails of slip in my kitchen until I get the pouring table moved inside. So again, I'm just brushing on my rim, and I'm going to have a lot more on of the hot orange out to the edge, and then less and less until you have the rust and then the black. So you have a nice graduation of color. And I'm just going across my texture here, and doing the C-strokes on the top or the half circles. And you can go either way. You can go that way, or you can go this way, or you can just go back and forth. You just want to do what works best for you and makes it easiest for you, so this is enjoyable and not stressful. I don't want anyone to be stressed out. We're trying to make it a good, fun activity. So I'm still just grabbing my hot orange and brushing it out, brushing it on the outside rim of my hat and along the top of the top of the hat as well, especially on the very ridge of it. And we'll bring a little bit down in the front because the light would be hitting right there really a lot more if it was shining on there. And a little more on the top of the big fold here. And a little more on here, just because the sun would really be would be hitting that. You can just imagine how the sun would be hitting that and lighting that up and making it look brighter. So we'll work it around here a little more, get a little more on the top. And just work it right around. And work some on the top and the back. And just a little bit on the rest of it on the back. So I'm going to bring my hot orange down maybe halfway, and then we'll let our rust, and then we'll let our black. I'm going to have more hot orange up at the top and then get less and less as it goes down, just to give it a nice graduation of color and not an abrupt stop of color. Well, we'll do a little more on the side here. So we left that bottom dry, and now we can come back to it and give it another little layer. So I did see this week that Clay Magic created a insert for the plain truck, the plain vintage truck, and it's a pumpkin, a bed of pumpkins. So we have that ordered if it's available, but they just announced that they're making it, so I don't know if it'll be available for our order or not, but we'll try to get that, and then it'll be on our Brenda's Brush Strokes and Bisque, where we have bisque and brushes and paint. We do have all of the Duncan acrylic color line now, including the metallics. And we have brushes on there and paints on there, and my apron that I wear is on there. It says Brenda's Brush Strokes and Bisque, and it has, I think, 3 pockets on the bottom. It washes up really nice. Oh, Courtney didn't get it on the web page yet, but that'll be coming. We'll have the apron on the web page. And it actually has pink writing instead of the blue. She's kind of done all our business cards with the pink, so these are my shop classroom ones, and I love blue, so that's the perfect color for the classroom ones. So it's a nice apron. It really washes up really nice, and it's good, especially if you're got good clothes on, and if you're cleaning greenware, it really keeps the dust off your clothes. But it washes up really well. That's the best part of it. So I'm thinking that's pretty good with our hot orange on the hat as well. So now I'm going to grab my Duncan OS 438 and its orange peel, and we're just going to highlight a little bit. You see, it looks like my little girl isn't quite in the picture here all the way. We'll see if we can move her down and get her in. Courtney zoomed in so you guys could see better, so you may not see everything. So I have my orange peel, and it'll just take a couple drops. And we'll grab that on the edge of our brush and brush it out. And again, I'm using my same brush. That helps with that gradual color change. So it's not, if you take a new one, it'll be the pure orange peel, but we can work to that by just continuing to brush. So now I'm just going to get the edge of the rim, the top of the hat, the very top of the brim here, as though the sun was just giving it a nice little kiss of color. You can see, hopefully you can see that going on. It's just a little bit, just enough to highlight it. It's like the last 1/3 of the color. And we'll just work, and we don't want to come all the way down under the brim. We just want it on the top where the sun would actually be hitting it. So let's see, I'll move my tablet here. And we'll just keep working our way around. Just nice thin layers of your dry brushing. So are you guys enjoying doing the scarecrows, or is it harder than you thought, or too easy? Are the projects too easy? So I'm just going to keep brushing across and get my rim come even between my sunflower and my hair. I'm just going back and forth across the rim there, just to give that a nice highlight. And now I'm actually going to come and do like a 1/4 inch up onto the brim, just to bring that color up a little bit further and just give it a little more highlight. So there's a nice gradual colors. You can see the orange peel, and then we have our hot orange, and then we have our rust, and then our black. So it's just a nice graduation of color, and it just gives your piece lots of dimension, and just better than just one solid color. And we'll come up on this high part because the sun would be hitting that a lot more, and we'll get a little bit more. This whole area will get more, and then we'll just thin it out as we get to the side there. So we'll get more to less. And we'll bring this down around here too, because that would be hitting that. So maybe a little more here on the very front. And then we want to get our top of our rim up here where the light would really be hitting it a lot. And just down a little bit, so it's not an abrupt change of color. And bring it around. And still I'm just doing little C strokes. I still have the same brush though. There's enough area to use that bigger brush, and I'll go the other way to get a little bit wider of a band on the side. But I'm hitting the edge each time, and that's giving that the stronger color. So looks like I need to get a little bit more over here. Maybe bring it down just a little bit here because the light would be hitting it there. Right on the side here. And a little bit on this front here. Oh, but I just dipped in the wrong orange, so I'll brush that out and go into the right orange. So tomorrow's the 1st of November already. Can't believe it. Oh, so that means Courtney will be sending out invoices to our subscribers. So look for your invoices tomorrow. It will be for the November box, which is our vintage Christmas box. It will have the Noel original Christmas tree in it. Old 341A, and then this base is 341B. And they are new molds that we did order from Noel. And then you will also have a vintage truck with a tree in the back that will be an ornament. And a vintage truck without a tree that can sit on the counter. And then there's the little surprise extras that are in the packages as well, including your color flyer and your inventory sheet. We've also included the light kit as our gift to our subscribers in the box, kind of our Christmas and Thanksgiving and thank you gift for trusting in us to subscribe and send us your money and not know anything much about us except for having seen our videos and painting lives. So we really appreciate you guys. And then there's always the extras that are in there, and including the 2 more dry brushes will be in there. You're almost, if you've been subscribing since July, you're close to having 2 full sets of brushes, a round set and a flat set, so that's pretty cool. We've decided what the extras will be for our January, February, and March box, and we have those on the order list. So that's pretty good for the orange peel on his hat, and now we'll switch back to our little girl. So Courtney will be invoicing the subscribers tomorrow, and then you will have till midnight on the 4th, which is Sunday night? 1, 2, 3, 4, Monday night. That'll be Monday night. She'll have till midnight, Monday night Central Time, to pay your invoice. And then on the 5th we will ship them. And you may not get your tracking number until the next day because the number has grown, and it just takes a little bit longer to do all that copying and pasting and to get the tracking numbers to you guys. Because they will go in the mail on the 5th. And if you're not a subscriber, you can still you can go on to Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque.com and do a single box pre-order, or you could send us a message and Courtney can send you an invoice, or if you want to be a subscriber, she can sign you up to be a subscriber. And if we have extra boxes after the subscribers, they will go on they'll be available on Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque.com, but the subscribers will always come first. I mean, we're going to try to have enough for everybody always, but you just never know. So again, I'm just doing her orange peel on the bottom of her skirt, and I have more at the very base, and it's stronger because there's more of it. So it's brighter, and then it's going to gradually fade as it goes up into the hot orange and into the rust. So it's kind of like an ombre type of effect with the color. And I do want just a little bit underneath, so we'll get underneath here too. And then I'm working on getting more of the trucks poured and onto the Bisque, Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque. So if you wanted more trucks, maybe as gifts and things, you'll be able to order extra trucks as well. I'm just going to do the same thing here on the back, kind of brush across the edge of the dress with this hot orange. Dry. You can go back and forth. You can do the little C strokes across it. But you can see it gets stronger right on the edge, and then we want it to fade out as it goes up. And you can go back and forth too. So that's how the subscription boxes work. You sign up as a subscriber, and we invoice you on the 1st. You have till midnight of the 4th Central Time to pay your invoice. And there's a link right in your invoice. It'll take you to Square, and that's just a processing program like PayPal would be. We don't see your credit card information. That's all processed with Square. And then you'll get your confirmation, and then we'll mail your boxes on the 5th, and you'll get an email confirmation with your tracking and insurance. Probably on the 6th, just because it's taken a little longer because there's getting to be more and more boxes. So I'm just dry brushing here getting a little bit of that orange peel on the bottom, so there's a nice gradual color change. But I don't want as much on the bottom as the top because there's less light on the bottom. So we'll come back to the top here. And you could put however much or little of this orange peel on there that you want. So I think I want a little more. So Tammy likes the level of difficulty. Well, that's good. We kind of went from a little bit simpler to a little bit more difficult with these guys, I think. The Christmas tree is going to dry brush fairly quickly and easily. The trucks, they're not hard, but there's a little more detail in them as far as painting them out with the headlights and the bumper and the windows. It's not hard though, it just takes a little more time. And then the December boxes, we're going to actually do add a couple techniques. Well, even the November box we do, because the truck without the tree in it, we are going to actually antique it to make it look a little more old and used after we dry brush it. And then, let's see, for the December box, that's where we're going to do some color washing on one of those, and then we're actually going to be like an antiquing technique on one of those snowmen too. So along with the dry brushing, just kind of mixing stuff together so you can do different things. So I'm just trying to get that bottom edge of her dress a little bit orangier here. So she's looking pretty good. I think that the biggest thing with dry brushing is just to be patient and do those thin dry layers and build your layers of color up. So she's a lot more brighter orange down here, and then it fades to less and less, and then to the hot orange, and then to the rust. So that's about what I wanted. Same with my back here. I'm going to bring just a little bit up onto the top part, just to make it more gradual, and I'll probably do that back here too. That way it'll just have a little bit of a highlight to it. So that's looking pretty good. I like that. So now we're not going to do her hat in green because I already put rust. I'll have to fix that this week, so we're back to the green. But we can do our bright yellow on our straw. And for that, we are going to use our Daffodil, our Doc Holliday Daffodil. And we'll brighten our straw and our sunflower up. I don't think we did that last time, the way it looks. Looks like it could use a little more. So I'm actually grabbing a new brush, and it's the size 8 again. It's just that the bristles are wore off because it's probably 10 or 15 years old. So you can tell they're pretty good brushes. So I'm just gonna, I think I want this a little bit brighter. So I'm just going across the tips of my straw with the daffodil along the bottom here. I just want it a little brighter. It's not quite, you can see the difference from these two. The other one's a lot brighter. I'd like it a little brighter. So we'll just add a little more. So after it dries, you can do that. It doesn't matter that it dried from last week. That's actually great. It'll take the color better. So we'll get some more on the straw over here and on the bottom here. I'm just going across my texture. And across the texture. Just giving her a little more straw color to her. Working it right up to the hat. And I brought it right back around here. We'll get them over here. And I think we'll go up on the top here. So now we can see we have the orange from doing the rust from doing the hat. We can bring our yellow right back over the top of that and get rid of that. going back and forth until you get it the color that you want it. And we'll come back around here. So I got my dahlias dug last week, I got the grass cut, I got some leaves raked, we got the molds, got new molds ordered again, got our supplies ordered, firing, cleaning, pouring yet, poured a couple more trees tonight, so if we have extra requests we have enough. So I'm just going to put a little more of the daffodil. I want my sunflower just a little bit brighter here. They're nice and bright. And I'm only coming down about 3/4 or 2/3 of the way because I want to come back with the orange and give it a little bit of orange like our other one has. And you don't have to do that if you don't want to. This is just one option of a way to do it. Oh, and then we were looking at the Easter box. We were thinking about doing Easter eggs with shaving cream technique and a bubble blowing technique. What would you guys think about that? There would probably be an Easter bunny in that box too. And then maybe some couple large eggs and a couple medium-sized eggs to work with. We probably wouldn't be shipping the shaving cream or the bubble stuff, but you can get that at like your local dollar store, or you might even have it in the house already. So I'm just working my daffodil out on the tips of my sunflower here, just getting it a little brighter. And I can still see my rust here, so I want a little more. Work that down in there without getting it on the hat. Well, we're waiting on a mold adventure. We may be able to get a few more new used molds next weekend, so we're patiently waiting for next weekend to get here. We'll come back on our sunflower and get those tips just a little more. That's nice and bright now. And we'll switch to our boy and do the same thing with him. And again, we'll brush our straw, cover up our orange. Oh, Connie says it sounds fun. All right, good deal. I didn't know if that was a good technique for you guys to want to try or not. Well, actually, two techniques. They're both pretty easy and fun. So we're going to keep dry brushing our daffodil on our straw here, brighten it up a little bit. And then our February box has a different technique in it too. And that one's a really simple one. But it's a rich looking one and pretty fun too. Kind of can't go wrong with that one. Or you can't really mess it up, I should say. Let's work our daffodil onto our straw. Oh, and we might even try some stenciling, something with stencils on that February box. I'm still thinking on that one. So we're always thinking for the year ahead here to keep this fun and enjoyable. And we always have to keep in mind what we can ship and what we can't ship. I'm just dry brushing on my daffodil on my sunflower now to get him nice and bright yellow. Going back to my straw, and I'm just grabbing a little at a time and brushing it out. Going across my texture. See, I'm off work tomorrow, so I can go set up at one of the craft shows. And then I'm off work on Monday and Tuesday for box packing. And by Wednesday, I'll be ready to go to bed about 5 o'clock, I think. Huh? Cordy says we're taking the day off. Well, I gotta work. I didn't take the work day off. I'm just off. But I think we'll take the night off. I'm just dry brushing my daffodil onto my sunflower here. Getting him nice and bright. And then our next craft show won't be till the Saturday after Thanksgiving, so we got a little bit of a break to get ready for that one. And then the next one will be the first weekend in December. So I got a lot of painting to get done. And then we got to keep pouring our box stuff too, so it's kind of busy here. And Courtney's been trying to add Bisque to the Brushstrokes and Bisque page. Trying to get more stuff poured and cleaned and fired for that. So you can see how much brighter the daffodil makes it compared to just the mustard. So I kind of like that. If you don't like that, you don't have to do that. So now we're going to come down and do his straw and get that nice and bright. Just kind of work it right up to the hat. Keep going across your texture instead of with it. And get his little hands here. Those go real quick. And we'll just brush back and forth here. We want more along the edges and then less as you go up because it would have shadow from the hat and it wouldn't be as bright. And I need some more yellow. Just grab a little bit and brush it out. So we had snow, but it melted all in the same day, so that isn't so bad. But it is quite cool out there. The snow went on the fish net, the netting that's over the pond, so now the net's in the pond, which is always a joy, because now the leaves are on the net in the water. I'll have to probably have Courtney help me take it out this year, because it's kind of loaded down. The leaves didn't drop yet enough, so I gotta let it out there yet. The trees in the back have a lot of leaves on them yet. I'm just getting a little more daffodil on my straw just to brighten it up. More of it on the edge than up towards the hat. A little more on my sunflower, a little more on the top. And my sunflower's got a little orange hue to it yet here from the hat, so we're going to try to just gently get the yellow on those tips. And try not to get it on the hat. And that looks pretty good. So now I'm actually going to go back to my orange brush, and I'm going to go back into my orange peel and brush that out. And then I'm just going to come around, do about a 1/4 inch on my sunflower here. I just want a little bit of an orange in there. You could do burgundy too. I think they're burgundy too sometimes. And you don't have to do that either. You can just leave it yellow if you want. I just want a little. So I want it darker towards the center and then lighter orange as it comes out. And don't worry about the center. We can go back and touch that up. We'll just get it a little bit lighter as it comes out. So that looks pretty good. And now we'll do the same thing with her. Grab some of that orange peel. And just come and just rub back and forth across your texture till you get that little ring. Or you can go in around, just go around and around. However much you want. I think I want a little more. I need a little more paint here. I see one of our neighbors was giving out candy and they actually had a little fire built down at the end of the road. Did you see that? Yeah. Yeah. So we're just going to get a little more orange peel on there. So we have trick-or-treating tonight in our town. So there, that's how I want that. I'm not going to mess with her hat. So we'll come back to him. I want just a little more in the middle there. And I think I'm going to go back to my yellow. So I see some orange on my straw here yet, and cover that up. Get that a little brighter right there and over here. So that's looking pretty good. Now we can, I think, go to our green. So I'm going to take our Doc Holliday Lexington green DH26 and we're going to work on his pants. And I'm going to take a drink, excuse me. And I'm going to grab another brush. I think we'll go with a, I have an 8 flat, or you could probably try a 5 flat. I think I'll probably try the 5 flat first, because I'll do that on his little bib straps. Might want a little bit of a smaller brush. You can use a round one too, I just don't have another round one in my bucket. So I have my Royal and Langnickel bristle brush. It's a flat size 5, and I'm just going to brush across his little straps on his little pants here. And then we're going to get his whole, work on his whole pants here and get those green. Now, are we doing on time, Courtney? 8 o'clock, okay. So we'll get those all in green. So next week we will work on, finishing these guys up. Let's see, you could probably take your crow and base coat him black. And also your pumpkin you can base coat black. And then we'll be able to get those guys as well next week. So you can work on your, we'll work on the green here tonight, but you'll probably have homework to finish dry brushing the pants. His pants with the Lexington green, and then her hat with the Lexington green, and then I'll redo my rust colored hat there and get it green. And you want a pretty full coverage with that Lexington green, just like with the rust. And you just keep slowly building it up till you have it pretty much all covered, except for the black in the creases. Like you want the black left around your pocket, and where the bibs meet the shirt, you do want the black left in that depth area. And like in the crease between his legs, you just want to go back and forth across that, and back and forth across the bottom of the pants. And then you can kind of do them little C-stroke, and just kind of works it right in there. The green goes on a lot quicker and easier than the rust. The reds, and they just always, anything with red in it always takes more work to get that color to come. But when you're painting red, if you put rust under it, it always helps your red come on better. So I'm just dry brushing in little C strokes, working it up to the shirt. Try not to get it all over. And then I'm going to go back and forth here in this bigger area. And I come across my texture there instead of going with it. Now let's see, I made his hat, his and her patches with the garnet red. So if you get the green on there, that's okay, because the garnet, we'll just go over it with the garnet red. I'm just trying to go across my texture on my pocket so I don't fill it in. So you can do that Lexington green on her hat and his pants. And then we'll just have the shoes left, the little straw left and their patches, and then the pumpkin and the crow. And the crow goes pretty quick because he's just black, and then we dry brush the mustard on his beak and on his legs, and then you can add a little purple if you have it, but you don't have to. And then the pumpkin will go from the black to the rust to the hot orange to the orange peel. Pretty much the same as we did with the Halloween box. They'll be done the same way. So I'm going to just come to the back now and let that front dry, and I'm just going to work my little C's here to get the straps green. And try not to get the shirt all full of green too. And just work up to it. So I start away from the sleeve and just gradually keep doing them little C strokes, and I can see where my paint is until I get it worked up right to where I want it in that crevice, and then I can stop and then come back out and then work my way back in again. You can see I'm just going real slow, and I can see where the color is building up, and I want to let some of that black in that crease, so then that's where I come back out. We'll come over here and do the same thing. I start out, work, just nudging my way in till I get to that crease. Because you can't go back and forth here because you're going to get your shirt all full of green. But if you start here and just do like little bitty slim C strokes, you can work your way up to that crevice where that black is, and you want to let that black in there because that's gives your shadowing. So I'm just working it up to that. So I need a little bit of green because my yellow ran into it here. So you just keep doing that all the way around the edge. So I'm just starting out doing like little long skinny C strokes, and I'm just nudging my way up, and each time you can see where your paint is. You're getting closer and closer, and when you get to it, then you can just, so now I'm there. I'm going to stop and come out and just work my way back up again, and come over here and just work my way back up again. So now I have the green all the way around here, but it's not all over my shirt. And we'll do the same thing over on this side. Just start out and work your way in. Start out and work your way in. Or you can start in and work your way out also. So that works really well without brushing back and forth and getting your whole shirt full of the green. So I'm just starting out and working in. Starting out and working in. And you just keep working your way around like that. Now here where the edge of the pants is, you can go across because it really isn't going to get on the shoe, and we'll be doing the shoes yet anyway with the brown, so that's okay. And we want to go across that indent on that pocket to keep that black down in there. Oh, and I'm done with my jury duty. The last one on Wednesday was settled, and I didn't have to go, so I got my six things of jury duty in for October. I'm good for 3 years, probably. That's how the cycle seems to be here. I'm just brushing across the pocket, across the line, so I'm changing my direction each time, because I don't want to fill in that black that's around that pocket. That way you can see the pockets there. Same with the crease in the back of his pants here. I'm going across. I'll go up and down here because there's a little crease where his little bunnies are. So we'll go across those and across the crease in between the legs. Brush out my brush, and then we can just go right across. And then again, just work your way up to your straw, or you can start at your straw and just You just kind of nudge it and you can see where your paint is slowly building up. So I've had a couple molds, of our new molds that we got earlier this year, that I've had trouble pouring them. One of them, the birdhouse likes to crack off of it, and the other one, it likes to crack on the back of it. So I did get the wreath to finally pour without cracking it. So I do have one wreath that didn't crack, but now I need to pour it again to see if that, what I did works, if that's really the answer to it, because I'm on like my 5th one and they've all cracked except for this last one. And it's the snowman wreath with all the little snowman heads from Clay Magic. It's really cute. And then the other one is that Harvest Pumpkin Birdhouse. It pours really nice and sets up really nice, but when you go to take it out of the mold, the darn birdhouse cracks on the back. And that causes a problem with the greenware, and I don't want to be selling anybody cracked greenware. So I gotta talk to someone about that one to see what I can do with that guy. I don't remember if Marcella's had it or not. We could maybe talk to them when I go down there. Or I'm thinking about calling Clay Magic. It's just kind of frustrating because I've poured about 6 of them already and they just end up cracking. There must be a little stress, kind of stressed at that point of the mold or something. So you can see the green goes on a lot quicker than our rust. But you can probably do her hat next week, and then we can pick up at that point. Yep, it should be well, last time. If we go over, that's okay, because the tree is going to paint up really quick. So now you can see, hopefully you can see this. There's a real shiny black spot there, so that's too wet. I need to let that dry. My green paint is not sticking to it because the paint must have been too wet. So I'm going to actually come to the front. And now I can still see black through my green, so I do want more green on my black. We should be able to get the pants how we like them for tonight, and then that's how you guys can do the hat for the girl next week. And then we'll highlight the pants and do the face, do our rope around our sleeves, do our pumpkins, because the pumpkin and the crow will go really quick. And we'll do the center of our flower, our patches, and we'll, I think it'll be close to making it. If we don't, we might need another extra half hour, but we could use that starting with the next one, and then start with our tree that night too. So, because these guys have a lot more detail in them than the next box. So hopefully it all works out. Always that it's about 4 times of painting, but if it's not and it takes the extra one, that's okay. We'll work around it. So I'm just dry brushing my green on here, getting everything green, and we'll come back where the green did get on the shirt, and we can touch that up with the light brown. I just want nice even color on my green on my pants. And then we'll do the shoes too. Those will go pretty quick. That's just 2 shades of brown. And
You want to tell them where you're at? No?
oh, so Cordy says if you're local and you want to come, we'll be at Christmas on Poplar in Shawano. That's Saturday, and that's just at friend's house that I know there's about 10 crafters, and we all have different things, and we all basically the whole house, including the garage and the basement, is set up with crafts. A larger size house. All kinds of nice variety. Everything's homemade, handmade, from wood to basket making, ceramics, Christmas trees, all kinds of good things. Ornaments. And then on Sunday we will be at Kaukauna High School in Appleton, in Kaukauna, Wisconsin. That's a nice show too. I think there might be a football game that day, so I don't know how that's going to play into things, but we're going to be bringing our Bisque boxes to show everyone. And we're going to hopefully have our kids project boxes ready by then. I just want to get a little more green on the back here. So I'm letting the black in the creases under his bunnies here. That's what my Tuesday night ladies call them. His cheeks are his bunnies. So thank you, Mary and Marlo. Cheeks and the bunnies are covered. And let me see. So it'll be a long weekend. Plus I have to fire trees and clean some more trucks yet for Monday. And so our green is looking pretty good. It's pretty much covered right up to the shoes and the shirt. We have the black around the pockets, the black around the shirt where the pants and the shirt meet. And we can touch up the green that got on there. We want to get under here. So that's about the degree of green that you want your pants and your hat. So your hat, the green hat, you'll do just like the rust hat, leaving the darkness in the creases. Oh, and then we have the ladybug to do on there too. Oh, and we can add our patches too, and her bands. So we may go over next week. We may have to save. We can either go over or we can do like the beginning of the next show too. So the videos are always on the Facebook on the videos tab. Courtney has the supplies used on there, and they're in a playlist, so they play 1, 2, 3 as you play them. They're also on YouTube, so if you're not a Facebook person and you want to watch them on YouTube and do your painting, you can do that too. If you can't join us on Thursday nights, you can go and watch the videos at any time when you're able to watch them. You can still post on the Facebook one, and we'll still see your comments if you're needing help, or you can message us. Same with YouTube. So we do monitor that. So if you have questions, you can still ask, or you can send a message through Messenger. That works too. So that's about where we want his green. He's looking pretty good. So you'll want to do that with the hat. And then next week, that's where we will pick up. We'll highlight our pants and finish our shoes, do our ribbon, do our pockets, do the center of our flower, do our faces. I do have an eye video if you want to watch that. That's on the Facebook video tab, and it's also on the YouTube tab. That might help you for painting the eyes. I actually painted the eyes the same way. They're just simple eyes. So I guess that's really about all I can think of. Hope you guys stay warm, stay dry, have a great Halloween evening. Don't let the spooks get you. And if you have questions, let us know. If you want the November box, let us know that. If you're already a subscriber, you're already on the list and you'll be getting one. Look for your invoice tomorrow. Thank you from Courtney and myself for joining us. I hope you guys are enjoying it. We're enjoying it. The time's gone by really fast, and we look forward to finishing out the year with our boxes. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.